Hi, my name is Samantha Bos, and I'm with the University of Texas at Austin. And today in this STAIR-tailored video, we're going to be looking at instructional adjustments increasing dosage. So before we get started, I do want to mention that this is part of a six video series in which we're looking at how we can adjust instruction. And when or why would we need to do that? This is when you are implementing a research-based intervention. You know it's supposed to work. There's all this research behind it, but it's just not giving you the results that you want in terms of the students' progress. The students aren't learning as fast as you'd like them to. They're not progressing like you'd like them to. So these are 6 ways that we as teachers can purposefully tweak our teaching to hopefully sort of boost the kids, boost that intervention and make it more powerful for the kids, and hopefully really help them master the concepts that they're struggling with. So today's video is going to be on increasing dosage. And this one seems pretty straightforward, but it's worth mentioning that if a kid is struggling and if you have the flexibility to increase the dosage, it can oftentimes be an effective way to help the kids. So in an elementary school, this might be easier. For example, working with a certain student or a certain group of students for longer times in the day, maybe having more sessions per week. So if you had sort of a math group that you were working with, instead of working with that specific group 3 times a week, can you bump it up to 4 times a week? Or can you stretch it out so you're doing it for longer? So instead of saying, I'm going to do this for 3 weeks, maybe can you try doing this for 5 or 6 weeks? In the middle school, this might be a little trickier, middle and high school and secondary schools, because a lot of us know you only have the kids for that block period of time. So the ways that you can do this in middle and high school is you can either, if you have an aide or if you have someone else in the room, if you can sort of split the groups, so then you can be working more directly with just this group, just this intervention, hopefully for a greater stretch of that class period, or even just being really purposeful in your teaching when saying, okay, we're gonna do this, maybe at the beginning of the class you used to have like a check-in with students where you kind of check in how they're doing in the day. Maybe you need to set a timer and make that only 2 minutes or maybe just a minute. And then really sort of just being purposeful about maximizing the amount of time that the kids are working with this specific intervention. Same thing at the middle and high school level. It's a little bit harder because you do have those like physical block times that you don't really have a lot of flexibility around. But if there's any way that you can pull in instructional support so that maybe you can be working with the student more often directly on this targeted intervention, or again, that's where it might be appropriate to just pull in a longer time frame. So work with them for more weeks on this intervention. That might be the best option for secondary students. And you can see this is an example of a calendar for maybe, well, it could be any student, it doesn't have to be a younger student, but you can see maybe bumping it from 2 times a week up to 4 times a week, making sure that they are getting just more instruction. Sometimes that's what the kids need. And it's really up to you as a teacher to determine if this is the best approach. Sometimes for elementary teachers it might be one of the easier ones. Sometimes for secondary teachers it might be a little trickier adjustment to make. And you can see here's an example of sort of stretching the intervention for a longer period of time, because you can see Maria isn't really making the progress that we want her to. She's not increasing those scores like we'd like, so we just need to maybe elongate that time so she has more time with the intervention. As I was mentioning though, this is a 6-part series in terms of adjustments that we can make to our instruction. I hope you can join us for the other 5 videos, and you can pick the adjustment that best fits your classroom, best fits the needs of your kids. Thanks, and I hope to see you for the next video.